I personally think that men are basically all the same. Men just want a nice, sweet, supportive woman. You don't even have to be that beautiful. Like, don't be fat, like go to the gym, eat healthy, put a little bit of makeup on, not too much. But ultimately, men just want a supportive, kind, sweet woman. He's gonna go out there, take on the world, do all these difficult things, and he just wants to go home and know that there's peace, there's food on the table, the house is clean. It's really not that difficult. All men want the same thing.
Men are waking up to the reality of modern dating, where the risks far outweigh the rewards. From being labelled as creeps for simple glances to navigating false accusations, it's no wonder guys are stepping back and refusing to play the game anymore. Let's break down the arrogance, entitlement, and double standards that are pushing men to walk away for good. Men have been treated like society's punching bags for decades, and it's time we call it out. Women want to sit back, be passive, and shove all the risks onto men, whether it's approaching them or doing everything else. And when men make a move, women are right there, analysing and criticising every little thing. If they think they can do better, go ahead. The days when guys didn't mind approaching women are long gone. Now, with their arrogance through the roof and the constant threat of number me too, we have to practically read minds before even saying a word. It's turned into a science experiment, too much work, too much risk, and almost zero reward. The few women left who carry themselves with class get approached instantly because men know they're the rare ones. That's why smart men get married young, locking down the classy, traditional women before they're 21. It's a harsh truth my friends are learning in their 30s, thinking they could wait it out and still find a respectable woman who isn't obese. Sure, some do, but they're the exceptions. Today's men have finally wised up. They're done indulging in behaviour that lets women disrespect and invalidate them. Women's behaviour towards men has hit rock bottom, and men have had enough. They've chosen their reputation, integrity and self-respect over the disrespect and humiliation women are serving up. I've even heard stories of women calling the cops just because a guy approached them. Nothing wrong with the guy, but he didn't fit their profile in the looks or money department. So why on earth would I, or any man, put myself through that? It's madness. Let's be honest, a huge percentage of women today aren't even worth approaching anymore. They want to be publicly valued by men so they can show off to their friends, humiliate the guy and feel validated. But guess what? Men aren't falling for that anymore. We've woken up. We're not wasting time on women who make it pointless to interact with them. Women seem completely unaware that the game is rigged against men, and men are done putting up with their unsupportive behaviours. We're not playing the fool anymore.
Ugh, tired. So I have like a dating story, but I didn't really go on the date. There was this guy I work with that I've kind of had a crush on for a couple years. He's got the aesthetic I like. Beard, dark hair, tattoos. And well, I never knew his situation until I asked my coworker one time because she talks to him a lot, and I found out he was divorced. So I was like, well, maybe I should ask him out. But I'm like, I don't ask out guys. Like, I'm scared too. But then I think it was last week, I saw him on one of my dating apps, and so I messaged him, and as soon as I did it, I regretted it. Because I'm like, he's going to say no, or he's just going to say yes to be nice. But I asked him out to dinner. When he responded, he said, well, you know, it sounds good. And he's like, I'll see you at work. And I'm like, yeah. And so, of course, when he came into the lab, I was like all awkward and shit about it. And we're trying to determine a time. And then I think it was Friday, we were supposed to do it, and he gave me his number. And so that night I'm texting him, and he's not initiating anything. I mean, he's answering my questions in a timely manner, but I'm just like, this dude's really not interested. But then Thursday rolls around, he comes in the lab again and talks to me. And so I'm like, okay, if he wasn't interested, he wouldn't do that. And so then Thursday evening, I'm texting him again, and it's still, he answers quickly, but no reciprocation about the questions. It's like he doesn't initiate anything still, and I'm like, he's gonna cancel on me, I just know it. Friday rolls around, and so I'm like, are we still on for dinner tonight? And he's like, well, I think I gotta pick my kids up. And I'm like, here it is, here's the excuse he's been waiting for to cancel on me. And sure enough, he had to get his kids, and so we didn't get to go out. Well, then later that night, I texted him, and I'm like, are you still interested in having an adult interaction? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, great. We could do breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever. And he's like, I'll let you know. And so I didn't really text him on his 4 days off because I knew he was with his kids. But I wished him Happy New Year, and he responded back. And I sent him like another text, and he didn't respond. So then I texted him the first night back, his first night back, which was overnight, and I just couldn't get like any personality out of this guy. And then finally, like, it started to come through, and like he sent me like a picture of and so I was like, all right, this dude is interested, because guys usually don't do that. They're not interested. And I was like, awesome, we're going somewhere. And then the next night, again, I texted him while he was at work, and things were still going down that route, and I was like, awesome. And then something, I don't know what happened. I don't know if I put him off somehow, but last night I texted him asking to, see a picture of his tattoo that he was talking about. He never sent it. And then I was like, well, I guess you've lost interest, and I'll, stop bothering you. And then he hasn't sent me anything all day and all night. So I guess he's not interested anymore, or he found somebody else. But I mean, this kind of sucks, because I was into this dude. But it is what it is. I guess on to the next guy.
Let's break this down. What you're describing is a classic example of the mess that comes with modern dating, especially when older, divorced women get involved. This woman. She's lost her sense of shame, openly crushing on a co-worker multiple times, like she's back in high school. The man she's eyeing? He's a divorced guy with real responsibilities. Kids, a life, things that matter. He's got priorities that go way beyond indulging in some workplace fantasy, and that's where the drama kicks in. She manages to connect with him on a dating app, probably thinking she's got it all figured out. But here's the harsh truth. He's not playing her games. He's not interested in her manipulative tactics or getting caught up in whatever mind games she's trying to pull. The guy's likely been through the ringer before, and he's not about to dive headfirst into another mess. Men like him, especially those with kids and serious commitments, aren't looking for distractions. They're cautious because they've already seen how bad things can go. What's even more ridiculous is that he's probably smart enough to avoid dating co-workers to keep things professional, but she doesn't care. No, she's more focused on immediate gratification, thinking she's entitled to get what she wants when she wants it. But guess what? Reality hits her hard. The man's not interested, and now she's left rejected and ignored. It's just another case of entitlement clashing with reality, and it doesn't end well for her.
Wait, so you're telling me that back in the day, when a mom and dad would split up, they would only give the dad every other weekend?
Yeah.
And people in those societies just accepted that as normal?
Uh-huh.
But every other weekend is only like 20% of the year. Right. I mean, that also means that by the time the kid is 10, they've effectively lost 8 entire years with their dad. I mean, yeah, that's true. Didn't they know the damage of fatherlessness? Oh yeah, they had access to that information since like the 80s. They knew that kids raised without fathers were about 4 times more likely to experience anxiety and depression, drop out of school, end up in jail, end up addicted to drugs, so much more. But they still kept the every other weekend standard even into 2025? Yeah. Why? Yeah, people just kind of thought that kids needed their moms more. But weren't moms also working at that time? Oh yeah, by 2024, 50 to 70% of married women were earning as much or more than their husbands, and they were securing the majority of all college degrees. Damn.
The entire reason Western countries are facing a complete disaster when it comes to the dating market boils down to one simple fact. They've stacked the odds heavily in women's favour, giving them all the power with zero balance. Women have been put on a pedestal, and there's no counterbalance in sight. In fact, the very thing that could level the playing field has been made illegal: professional intimacy services. If those were legal in Western countries, women wouldn't have the audacity to act the way they do now. It's as if the system has been rigged, making women believe they hold all the cards, and men are left with nothing. Just think about it. The dating scene has become an absolute nightmare for men, with women holding all the control. And the worst part? They've gotten so comfortable with this power imbalance that they openly exploit it. Whether it's on dating apps, where women reject 80% of men without a second thought, or in real-life interactions, where men are constantly on guard, fearing they'll be labelled creepy or worse. It's no wonder men are packing their bags and going overseas or opting out of the dating market entirely. Why would any man want to get near a woman when the entire system is designed to make him lose? And here's the thing. If professional intimacy services were legalised, it would change the entire dynamic. Women wouldn't be able to play these games, making men jump through hoops just to get basic respect or attention. Men would have options, and women wouldn't hold all the power. But instead, Western societies have criminalized the one thing that could balance out the dating market and put women in check. Look around. The entitlement is unbelievable. Women have been given so much power without any accountability. They have the freedom to reject men left and right, make men feel disposable, and then sit back and complain that men aren't stepping up. But why would men bother? The game is rigged, and men are finally waking up to the fact that there's no point in playing when the odds are stacked against them. Women demand the world, while offering very little in return, and Western society encourages this behaviour by continually pandering to them. If the laws allowed for professional intimacy services, women wouldn't get away with this nonsense. They wouldn't be able to treat men like they're beneath them, or exploit their desires for validation and attention. Men would have choices, and women would be forced to compete again. But until that happens, the dating market in the West will remain a disaster, a place where men lose and women keep playing a game that only benefits them. It's not hard to see why more and more men are saying, enough is enough, and choosing to walk away from the whole thing.
My husband and I are divorcing, and we've started mediation, but we're only like one visit in, and we have nothing on paper. Nothing is in the courts, nothing. So we are still married. This house is still half his. Everything is half his, half mine, theoretically. And I know I've said at some point, like, all I care about is custody of the kids and being able to support them and keep the house. Like, I don't care what furniture you take. Like, I know I've said that out loud, but just sort of like in a non-concrete way. And today I was at work and the ring cam went off, and I looked at my watch and I saw a moving truck backing into our driveway and him moving furniture out. I had no idea this was happening. I didn't know what he was taking, and I was at work. I work in special education for elementary kids. I can't just leave. And I don't even know that I could stop him because it's his house and his stuff. But now I'm sitting in my car in my driveway and I can't go in there because I don't know what's gone. And I don't know how I'm going to handle it when I see things not there. So what I'm saying is, this is worse than cancer, and I've had cancer twice. So if anybody has any tips for literally surviving.
Brothers, divorce is a complete nightmare for men, especially when the deck is stacked against us from the start. This woman wants it all while leaving the man with nothing. It's the harsh reality so many men are facing in today's twisted society. She grabs the most valuable things, the house, the kids, and still manages to get upset when the guy takes a few pieces of furniture. It's insane. He's giving her what she wanted, full custody, the house. Yet somehow, she's still complaining. That level of ungratefulness is unreal. And then there's her half his, half mine mindset. She claims she only wants the house and custody, but when he takes some basic material goods, she loses it. Where's the fairness in that? The man's already losing even after giving her exactly what she asked for. The truth is, these women don't care about fairness. They only care about themselves. Once they're in your life, they take everything and leave you with nothing in return. Then they turn around and play the victim card, running to social media to cry about their struggles and get sympathy from anyone who'll listen. But real men see through the act. Her so-called health issues and life challenges, just excuses to shift the blame and make herself look like the victim. The real issue is her selfish, ungrateful attitude, and if she's not careful, she'll end up alone with nothing but her own bitterness for company. Men need to wake up to this reality and stop letting these women drain them dry.
Sorry, I have to take my medicine.
Are you a performance artist?
Me?
Yeah.
I wish. Sorry, what?
Oh my gosh.
Wait, which one did I miss?
Hold on.
There's something wrong with this girl.
You need to leave.
Wait, really?
Yeah, you need to leave.
Why?
Can you just leave? Can you just leave? Now you're legally not allowed to be here. I have just trespassed you from my property. So I'm asking you kindly to leave.
Okay.
Brad, I'm gonna call the cops.
Yeah.
Can somebody call the police?
Who knows? Maybe once women can't lock down a decent guy anymore, they'll finally wake up and realise that no-fault divorce and these unfair, pro-woman divorce settlements are screwing them over too. Because let's be real, they absolutely are. The old-school marriage and divorce system worked, but this new setup, it's broken beyond repair. This is exactly why long-term relationships are practically dead in today's world. Women wanted all this freedom and empowerment. But now, they're left with a dating market that's a wasteland where decent men are either checking out or heading overseas. The truth is, the system's rigged in their favour, but in the end, it's killing their chances at real relationships. Maybe one day they'll understand that, but by then, it'll probably be too late.